All right. So thanks for pulling up. Hit the like, subscribe button while you're here. Go ahead and rate, review, and give us 5 stars if you're listening. We're going to jump right
Yep.
into the position groups so I can get y'all out of here in an hour like I planned on. We're going to do wide receivers and tight ends. Great thing we're having a conversation about wide receivers, right?
Well, looky
Let's jump
there.
right into them in detail. So great segue to what we wanted to talk
Thank you,
about
Big Sexy.
here.
You brought us right to it.
You brought us right to it. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw up here the ourlads.com projected. This is their projection around the depth chart right now. And
Yep.
we're going to talk through this, Jason. Some of the things to really think and consider when it comes to seeing this list is we've got there's a lot of questions around the wide receiver room, mainly because losing Mims, who was a monster.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
Um, when you go look at it, let me go and here statistically looking at the stats. He was everything. He was our offense. He basically had double the reception yards of the next guy, which was Braden Willis, who's also gone. And then you got
Right.
Jalil Farouk right there at 466 yards. So
Right.
statistically, everything went through Marvin Mims. He was the main guy. Um, and so we've got a lot to replace. So Drake's so as you know, Drake Stoops, we still got him, luckily. We've got we still got we lost, of course, Eric Gray. We got Gavin still out there.
Right.
Parker's gone. We've got LV, Buckley, Shelton, and JJ Hester. And so now it's now looking at what is this depth chart going to really look like. So right now, the estimation is you're going to have Jalil Farouk, you're going to have Andrel Anthony as the other wide receiver, Drake Stoops, and Austin Stogner is going to walk in, of course, and be the starter because he's been here and he knows what the hell he's doing.
Right. Right. Yeah. That's
I'm
exciting
gonna
for me.
say this. I do think that our wide receiver room is better than advertised and what we're
Hmm.
anticipating. This is why I say that. First off, Farouk, Andrew Anthony's really good. 6'3". He
Hmm.
runs a I don't know what his 40 time is, but he's fast.
He's
Like
fast.
picking him up as a transfer last this in January, it's going to be huge for us.
Right.
He was averaging 20 yards per catch his freshman year at Michigan before he had an injury. And he still looks like he's good. Like he did well with JJ McCarthy throwing him the ball, and JJ was a 5-star quarterback who can throw.
Right.
I think that Andrew Anthony's going to surprise everybody. I think he's going to be legit. What's your thoughts on Andrew coming in here as a transfer and lighting it up?
I liked him. I liked him right away. I liked him right away. I thought it was a big pickup. I think that he'll probably get some more looks than what you were going to get in Michigan. They like to run the ball first and foremost, and then hit you deep. But he was definitely a deep threat. And at that size, I mean, 6'3", that's that sweet spot for those receivers, especially when you add speed to it. Um, I think that he comes in and he shows out right away. I also, but obviously, I'm excited about Andrew Anthony a lot. I still think that Farouk is going to really come through this season anyway. I think he showed flashes of it. He's shown flashes of it the last 2 years, but I really
Right.
think that this is his time to really kind of shine. Um, but yeah, man, that was a big pickup there. That was a big pickup right there. And then bringing
Agreed.
Stog back was great. So I'm excited about these receivers. I know that was probably considered your weakness when you start thinking about Marvin leaving. Um, and I think a lot of people were concerned about Marvin leaving.
Yeah, no, that was the fear losing Mims
Absolutely,
is
man.
you've got Jalil Farouk and you really don't have anything on the opposite side that is proven. But I think
Right.
Andrel Anthony is. I think Anthony's prepared to take that. And of course, mentioning Drake Stoops, he's going to do his thing.
Sure,
He's a
sure. Yeah, these
masterful route runner. He's going to do what he needs to do to make the magic happen. He's going to
got a
do
little
his
pepper
part.
in him. He was fighting with Billy Bowman already. I
Love that.
love it. Bring it on.
Love the
Hell yeah.
feistiness in
I'm
practice.
loving it, man.
Yeah, and for him, he's a big, and this is a great point here, James. They're kind of my little brother team too. They step team is actually a great one. I call them bonus
Hmm.
team, but he does have some downfield threats. Like I have a
He does.
video when I'm a post a short on him after this show as well, and he caught it across the middle and he was gone. Like he is fast and averaging 20 yards a catch, which Mims did this past season too at the end of the year. Yeah, that's a huge pickup for what we're trying to do here
Yeah.
at Oklahoma. So, and then having Staub come back as a transfer is helpful. And Kim, you are 100% right on here. Staub needs help. Yeah, we got a lot of injuries on the tight end side with Caden Helms as well as
Hmm.
Llewellyn. I'm not sure what Blake Smith looks like. I haven't really seen any footage on him floating around, but I'm hoping that he is. I think that he'll be solid. But if there's anything that I am interested in too, though, not only is these freshmen, but these two transfers that came in too. You got J.J. Hester, former Tulsa Booker T. Washington wide receiver, and then you got L.V. Buckley Shelton, who came from Arizona State.
Hmm.
They came last year. Now Hester got hurt, I
Right.
think, a couple of games in, and he had season-ending surgery that I read in an article that BV had mentioned.
Right.
I'm curious to if at 6'3" he comes back nice and healthy and he's ready to produce. Between those two, who do you think's got a good chance of showing out?
Well, what worries me about JJ is he going to be healthy again? You know, when you have to have season-ending surgery, sometimes they just don't heal up like you would want them to.
Mm-hmm.
Bunkley Shelton, I mean, I think that they're both big guys. I mean, I like the idea of where they're coming in there. Uh, Probably, I mean, I'm kind of concerned that we're still seeing JJ as a third stringer. That kind of worries me about is he back healthy all the way or not? You know, I don't
That's a
know.
good point.
And so I think that talent wise, you gotta think that he's the man and he's ready. But is he healthy? So aside from that, I mean, it looks like with obviously Bunkley Shelton already they've got him penciled in at number 2 behind Jaleel. I mean, I'm gonna just going by the projections here. I'm gonna say it's probably gonna be him because there's obviously something lingering. And of course it's spring right now, so we don't know what it's gonna look like in fall camp. But he may need that time to get healthy. You know,
No, that's fair. That's fair. Now, for everybody to understand, our last, this is their projections. This isn't a guarantee. This will most likely change right before
sure,
spring game, which is good.
sure, yeah,
But looking at what we have here, I'm looking at Buckley Shelton.
yeah,
Most likely is going to probably go back to the slot because he played the slot this past season.
he did,
And this was actually a good point that was pointed out by James here. He did play slot
yeah,
last season. I do think that we'll see him at the slot spot with Gavin Freeman and Stoops and doing a lot. Especially if we run 4 wide receiver sets,
yeah,
I can expect that. The person I'm also interested in seeing is DJ Graham. He shifted back to wide receiver. He went to corner because when he got here, the room was too crowded and
yeah,
they could use, of course, we could use help with corners back then.
absolutely.
He went there to go ahead and show out. But now he shifted to this room and be a lot lighter. I'm ready to see if DJ is ready to really be impactful at the wide receiver spot. Him and then Jaden Gibson. Gibson at 6'5" and can scoot. We watched him last spring game catch that one pass from Dylan Gabriel and ran it all the way back for a touchdown. This is the year he needs to go ahead and step up. This is the year that he needs to take over. I think it needs to be between him and Andrel Anthony fighting over who's going to be that Z and who's going to actually go out and produce some big numbers. Because
Sure.
Gibson, the problem I ran into him with was, I think it was the TCU game. Don't quote me. It's one of those two games, either TCU or Kansas State. He was hit across the middle by Gabriel.
Mm-hmm.
And if he would have caught it, he was gone for a touchdown.
Oh yeah.
And because he kind of bobbled it, he got tackled and dropped the catch.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, man, that was a touchdown.
You make that clean, you're gone.
Touchdown.
Yeah, yeah. And you know what? A lot of those drops last year were those. I mean, we were talking about drops a minute ago. It seemed like every time they dropped one, it was 6. Had they catch it, Ugh, brutal.
Right. And so, jumping into questions real quick, Jeffrey asked a good question. You think Emmett Jones is an upgraded wide receiver on par with Kel Gundy? I'm going to be honest. I think he's an upgrade. I think Kale was fantastic and masterful at what he did.
Sure.
Emmett's got heavy ties in
Recruiting.
the Texas area, recruiting
Yes.
wise. I think he's a
Yes.
little bit stronger when it comes to that part. I think Kale's probably a better relationship guy. I don't know about the coaching aspect of it. Wide receiver wise, we've always had really good wide receivers, so Kale did a really good job of bringing in the right ones.
Sure.
I think that Emmett relationship wise, I think he's got better ties around and
He
bringing
does.
in the new group
The
crop
Metro,
of athletes.
especially in the Metroplex, he's really solid. The coach that's on my show, he coached at Dallas Skyline, and
Mm-hmm.
he knows Emmett. So he was talking about that he thinks that was probably the biggest pickup they could have gotten was that one, as far as the coaching changes were concerned. And so I mean, and he's not even an Oklahoma fan, but he was talking about he was like, man, and I know that they were not happy at all at Tech about him being gone. At all, at
Oh
all.
yeah, I heard they were very upset, and you are right.
Yeah,
James here.
Joey was
This dude,
pissed.
yeah, and I get it. Emmett's a
Yeah.
really he's a really good option. And hell, we just saw Washington went to Western Kentucky, then left there like 2 weeks later to go to South Florida. And I think he'll do well down there at South Florida. That's where Washington be able to really build up his resume
Mm-hmm.
and build up his skill set. So I'm pretty stoked about that. But no, I think that Gibson is the one that I'm really ready to see. But him and Nick Anderson next to each other. Nick Anderson, remember, he's like what 6'4", the
Yeah.
little brother of Rodney Anderson,
Yeah.
and we got a lot of big receivers. I mean,
I'm
Nick
telling you,
six
that's what I was
four,
saying is with
Gibson six
Jaden, if he
five.
and I think what Hank said here, Gibson's one big play away from getting that confidence and being an
Yes,
exploder. I
he
would agree
is.
with that. And I think that you probably could say that about a lot of guys on a lot of rosters, but I think for sure when you get a kid like that, you look at him and he looks the part. You really, really want him to, you know, to get the. I mean, at 6'6", man, that's a big target. So you want him to get out there and get going. So it's. I think that sometimes they can feel that heat a little bit, but I agree with you, Hank. I think that if he catches that one and he takes it to the house, then it's going to change things.
Yep,
So
Andrel Anthony is 6'1". You've got Jalil Farouk at 6'3",
right.
Gibson 6'5", Nick Anderson 6'4", Hester at
Mhm.
6'3", 6'3". You
Mhm.
got DJ Graham, which is I think he's like 6 foot, 5'11", 6 foot,
Yep.
and LV Buckley Shantley's like 5'11", 6 footish.
Right.
So yeah, we've got a nice crop of uh yeah
So these
tall
are
guys.
just, but we're not seeing any of these freshmen. That's where's our freshman boys at?
I don't see. Well, Petaway's not here yet.
Oh
Petaway
no,
won't
he
be
did.
here
Okay, so
until
he
the
didn't win
fall.
here. Right, right.
Yeah, he's a fall player. Same thing with Keon Brown. He's also fall. They're both. They're actually this summer. They'll be here this summer. I believe both of them are doing track, so they didn't come. They didn't early enroll, and so I sense that having Petaway in, here's a good chance that he could try to take some minutes from somebody. Not gonna argue
Yeah.
with that.
You talk about a guy that can take the top off, man. That dude was smoking fast.
Yep. And Jeff asked the question of who's the brother. It's Rodney,
Yeah.
and Rodney at running back was a monster. If he didn't get hurt, oh man, he would have
Yeah.
been stupid.
Sure would have.
Yeah, and you need to check out Gibson and Nick Anderson. I think they took over with a podcast on the prairie or whatnot. I think that's what
They
it's
did.
called that they took over. Go listen to them talk; they're pretty funny. I actually like them both
I,
a
I've watched it
lot.
once. I thought they were great. I think they stepped right into that thing and it was good. I liked it with Braden and them too last year, so it was fun. But I enjoy their podcast.
Yeah, and that's the exact same I feel is that if as long as Nick doesn't have the issues that Rodney ran into, man, I think
Yeah.
he can be special. All he needs is about half the talent, and
Hmm.
he'd be great because Rodney was a monster, and it was like I said, injuries is what slowed him down. So, but no, looking at the height and everything, man, tight end, we got a lot of work to do. We just got to hope that we can get either some players to convert or pick up. We,
Yeah.
we may have to pick somebody up in the portal, just because of injuries or whatnot. So
I think
we'll.
the depth is your issue there, obviously. And I mean, and
There you go.
yeah, but I
It's Red
still
Dirt Rambles. That's what it's
red
called.
dirt rambles. There it is. Yeah, yeah. And Nano, you guy, Big Sexy. These are some newer guys that I hadn't seen in my cast. I hope you guys come and check us out over there as well. A lot of it's been lively in the comment section here, Jay.
Yeah, y'all staying on. I appreciate it, man. We've got
Yeah,
what
Chicken. There's my
60
boy Chicken.
Yeah, Chicken been in here reminding everybody some stuff. Yes, you're 100% correct. I was wrong. Y'all were right. Thank you so much for letting your boy know on that. And so hop in the comments. Let us know, who do you guys see as far as your depth chart. I saw Kim's depth chart a couple of minutes ago. Let me pop this on the screen. There we go. This is Kim's, is what we're looking at. I'm
Yeah.
hoping that we get Anthony to play a lot of not only the Z, but I would like to see him in the slot because he's fast. And then if you can just get all those big dudes out there, man, Gibson,
Yeah.
Anthony, Farouk, just have like a big lineup. They just come out and just have all the biggest dudes out there in the field, and then have a small lineup and have all the small dudes just out there just running around. Man, it's gonna be dumb. It's gonna be fun. I'm not even gonna argue with it. It's gonna be a great time. So.